What's going on, guys? So I've had a lot of people ask me to make a video of the car and actually show what's all done to it and what's been modified, what it's taken to get to this point. So start off here in the front. Originally this car was not a California Special, but I added a California Special front bumper. It has the Ford Racing tow hook front crash bar, so it's a tubular replacement for the front crash bar. And you can see there the Department of Boost Titanic with dash 20 AN lines going to it. Well, the AN lines you can't see, but I'll post a picture in the video so that way you can see what it looks like with the bumper off. And also the Mazzari intercooler pump, which is an all billet intercooler pump, which we mounted here behind the turn signal, and it's tucked up nicely in there. Moving over to the engine bay, it's got a Sally cold air intake. It's a PMAS 149 housing with a tube that they custom make. It's actually made for a GT500, so it fits very well on the 3-valve with a Whipple blower. Probably also fit very well with any type of VMP blower or anything similar. As long as it's a Department of Boost kit, it should work pretty well, I think. I haven't seen one fitted on there, but if it fits on the Whipple car, or if it's on the Whipple kit, then it should fit on a VMP as well. So going back to the blower, of course, it is a Whipple Gen 3 or Gen 5 3-liter. Right now it has a 4-inch upper pulley, and it is 10 rib. So it has a GT500 lower balancer and a Billet Pro Shop alternator pulley with a Denso alternator for 2010. You can see down there is a System 1 oil filter, so it's reusable. I just go in there and clean it out every time I change the oil. And as you can see, there's not much to this belt drive. It is very short. The belt is only 83 inches. This is actually an OEM belt for a GT500 2014. So it's a very, very short belt. Just goes down there to alternator, comes back up, goes to the blower, and right back down to the crankshaft. That is a Mazzari water pump. It is their heavy duty version, and it works very well. And it's very wide, so it fits on the 10 rib belt fits on there perfectly. Valve covers are just regular Ford Racing valve covers, nothing special. Fuel rails are from 4 Innovations. It's got MSD coils on it. Going to the battery, it's got an anti-gravity battery, and I made this bracket here to mount the 2-step, so that way it'd be very easy to adjust at the track. You just go in there with a little screwdriver set and turn it up or down as needed. And it's in a Fathouse Fab battery catch can combo kit, so it's got the catch can right behind it. And I have the lines, I got dash 10 lines going to each valve cover. There's one over here, and then there's another one over here. So what I actually did is I took out the tube and I tapped the valve cover for, I believe it was 1/2-inch pipe threads. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, so it's got pipe threads, and I screwed in the fitting, and then it's got a low profile 90, so it fits there under the cold air, and then it just runs back to the catch can system. For fuel lines, it's got dash 10 line feeding into a Y block, and then going feeding into the back of the rails. And it's got an air motor regulator sitting here on the shock tower. Originally this car had a Kenny bell, so the inlet kind of went around this way, and there's no way to put the regulator on the firewall, so I put it right there. Plus, to be NHRA legal, you can't have the fuel pressure regulator on the firewall. In case the clutch explodes or something happens, it doesn't go and rip all the fuel lines. So some specs on the motor. So the motor is a 4.6 WAP block with a Manley crankshaft, Manley rods, diamond pistons, total seal rings, trend wrist pins. It's still stock displacement, 4.6 liters. So it's not a stroker motor, doesn't have a big bore, just a regular 4.6 3-valve, stock 3-valve heads. Just has some port work done to them. Camshafts are from Comp Cams, still has full VCT. As you can see, that still has electrical plugs on and VCT, so those are fully active. They're not limited or anything. So it's a very, very basic engine combination. Nothing truly special about it. Off-the-shelf cams, off-the-shelf crankshaft, off-the-shelf rods, all balanced by De Leon Racing engines and Mission. And I assembled the engine myself both times. First time I was using a stock Cobra crankshaft, and it messed up the keyway a little bit on the end. It had a Innovators West balancer which cracked, and that caused the crankshaft to get a little messed up. So that's when I took it all apart, replaced the crankshaft. I reused the rods and the pistons; they were still in great shape, and just put new rings, bearings, gaskets, etc. And it's been running great since. So that's pretty much all the info I got on the motor. On the oil pan, it's actually a GT500 oil pan from a 1314, the aluminum oil pan. It's got 8 quarts on it, so that way it has a little bit more oil supply. But yeah, it's pretty basic 4.6, other than the big Whipple sitting on top, which again is a first of its kind. This combination has never really been done before. Right now it's got some weld wheels on it. These are radial tires, so it's got some Sportsman SR front tires on it. And the rear's got some ET Pros. These are just good for the street, for data logging. Hooks are pretty well for my rolls, so when I need to make some logs and see what the car is doing, it's perfect for that. And, you know, taking a car shows and things like that. For brakes, it's got Strange brakes all the way around. They've worked really well, so I have no complaints about the Strange brakes. It's got Viking struts as well. Kind of hard to see, but kind of see it there a little bit. Got Viking struts in the front and in the rear. Again, Strange brakes. So it's got Strange brakes with the 9-inch ends. So it's a good safe combination to have in case an axle breaks. Can't see it, but I'm gonna try and get a shot underneath. But the whole rear end housing has been powder coated red. And it's braced with a UPR billet cover, BMR anti-roll bar. Those are actually UPR control arms, but I powder coated them red to match, so they look like BMR control arms. Viking shocks, Billet Pro Shop coilover kit with some AFCO springs. They're 12-inch, 150-pound springs. Might try 10-inch, see if it lowers the car to get that bar angle closer to level. That's something I'll try later on. Coming back to the rear, it's got a carbon trunk from Anderson Composites. Very nice trunk. Fits very well with a Foose Stallion wing, so they don't make these anymore, but it looks very nice on this car, along with the side scoops. Those are from a Foose Stallion. Open up the inside of the car. It's got a lot of carbon fiber, some of it from True Fiber, some of it from Tim McCamus. He makes these covers that go on the cage. The dash is from MPR Carbon, so he makes these dashes there in Las Vegas. Where the radio was, that was just a panel of carbon fiber I bought from Summit, and I made that myself. The center console's from True Fiber. Going to the doors, these are 2010 14 doors that have been modified to fit around the cage. So it's got suede here with red stitching. Looks very nice. You rest your arm on it and it feels very good. It's got a little bit of carbon fiber from True Fiber. Got the window switches, the pull covers, or the door pull covers I think they're called, and then the little covers that go inside the door handle. The seats are Kirkis and they got the vinyl covers. Still got the rear seat. Kind of see in there. Got a certification from NHRA, so it's a 850 legal. And it's also a Fathouse Fab roll cage, so kind of see up in here. It's got the bar that goes in the middle for the parachute handle. Doesn't have the parachute on it because I don't want to drive around the street with it. See the cage tucks up real nicely against the ceiling. Got gussets everywhere to make it stronger. Goes up behind the dash, and you got your door bars. And I didn't want swing outs because it's a lot safer to have these bars just solidly welded in place versus having swing outs. It's also got a window net from All Star, made in Texas, even has a little tag on it. Steering wheel is from a 2010 and 2012 Shelby, with an airbag cover from a 2010 to 14 Mustang. It's got a Lund Racing end gauge, tuned by Lund Racing. And that's pretty much it for the interior, just some GT floor mats, something special. And then going around to the other side of the car. Oh, it's got some side skirts added on. I think they're from Classic Recreations. That's their side skirt package. Over to the other side, same thing. Here's a window net, you can see. It's got buttons from Motion Raceworks, so that's for the line lock. And I added two just in case I ever had a button failure. I can just swap over to the other button. Never know, I've seen it happen, so always good just to have a backup there. So right now the right button's not used for anything, but if the left button, which I use for the line lock, ever goes out, I can just swap it over. The plug, it's already plugged and terminated, so I just have to unplug it and replug it to the new one. It's got seat back bracing from IO Port Motorsports. That way, you know, it's nice and solid. And that's pretty much the whole interior. It's very street car. I mean, it's not gutted. Still got carpets, still got floor mats. You know, I try to keep it as original as possible. Oh, and the seat brackets are from Fathouse Fabrications as well. So made it very easy to mount Kirkies in there. And a little bit more, you can see the back seat. Now these are 2011 to 14 back seats. And the windows, they're actually tinted 35% all the way around. So the side windows, the windshield, and the back window are all 35%. The hood is from Anderson Composites as well, and it's got a track spec Motorsports hood vent. So that way get all that heat out of the engine bay. Oh, and I don't think I talked about the coolant tank, but the coolant tank is actually from Moroso, and it's got a Mazzari cap and bung for the intercooler side, and Project 321 caps. So it's got the coolant tank cap, the brake reservoir cap, and I have the oil fill cap as well, but I'm using that one for venting to the catch can. And I actually found out they were just discontinued, because I actually wanted to get the cap for this one, but they're discontinued now, so that's unfortunate. They make some really good products, but I think they're focusing on their bicycle sales now. So, and then over here to the cold air, I actually made the shield to shield it from the hot air coming from the radiator fan when it kick on. Sometimes it'd make it idle weird, so I was thinking it was getting some turbulent air coming from the radiator fan, and that was actually causing the problem. So by installing that shield, it helped when it was idling with the hood down. It would sometimes idle weird and then come back up, and with the shield in place, that solved the issue. Going back to the belt drive, it is a 10 rib belt, so that's actually the first time that I know of that a 3-valve has had a 10 rib accessory drive like this, other than the older Whipple kits that had the 10 rib on top of the 6 rib. This is all, you know, on the first row of pulleys. So, you know, it's very unique. It's never, as far as I know, never really been done before. So came out very nice. And it's even using an original Ford belt. So that's a Ford belt for a GT500 that I found and tested, and has been working well so far. And then going back to the Department of Boost kit, this bracket here was actually cut off. So originally on a Department of Boost kit, you'll have the alternator sitting right here. But to make this look a lot nicer. I wanted the alternator down below where the AC was, the AC compressor. Plus it allows you to do the return fuel lines for the fuel rails, and it makes it all look real nice and neat. So, I mean, yeah, there's no air conditioning, but it does look really nice when you pop the car shows. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this car. Oh, and also, before I forget, mirrors are by MPR Carbon as well. Again, made in Las Vegas, and they're an entire mirror assembly, so it does look very nice. A lot of companies just do covers over the painted part, but this is an actual complete mirror assembly, so it came out very, very nice. But yeah, this is the whole car, and thanks for watching. Next video, we'll be going to the track and seeing what it does with that 4-inch pulley, and then we'll be turning it up from there and seeing what the car can handle as far as power. So we'll see you all in the next one.